tonight. Sure, we got some takes. I can't ever get these notifications right. Let's see if we got some takes. Let's see what we're working with. Let me know. Let me know. See what we talking about. What we talking about here? See what we got. What's up? Glad you here tonight. Show could have used you last night. It was crazy last night, but we're here tonight. Just got through doing some videos. Think you'll like the last video I did, football related. Yeah, I had to call him out on that mess. I saw. Did you see it, Dan Patrick? Did you see it? Oh, so Dan Patrick had him on, right? And you know Reggie Miller's a big Michael Jackson fan, so I turned it on, right? Because I forgot how I linked it. Anyway, want to be starting something, dun, 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 dun. And I thought, oh, Dan Patrick was trolling him, so I did my video because it starts off with want to be starting something, and then you go about 4 or 5 minutes in, then he starts moonwalking, talking about, well, it really wasn't about LeBron. I'm like, I see what Dan Patrick did. Dan trolled him hard, and he moonwalked like clockwork. He's soft and spineless. He's soft and spineless. Oh, Reggie doing Reggie things. Reggie doing Reggie things. Yeah, you'll laugh if you see it because wanna be starting something comes at the beginning of it. He was on the Dan Patrick show and it cracked me up. I said, I heard the music, I was cracking up. Yeah. He ain't do nothing. Typical Reggie though. Typical Reggie. You know. He wouldn't be Reggie if he couldn't moonwalk. And he started moonwalking. So, but yeah, you'll laugh when you see that video though. The footage he's on there and came out last night. Yeah, well, so you want to know what I think about that? I got no problem with that. He was good there. He was good there. Even though, you could say he kind of underachieved, but he had a good career. You know, you do what? I do what? With Vince? What did you say about Vince? I probably was talking right in between it. What was your Vince Carter take? I'm explaining something to you. He was a name that they got, and I know why they're doing it because he was one of it's well, the reason being is because he put up some numbers there. It's kind of strange. I have to like do a video about it. You think I should do a video about the Vince Carter retiring with the Nets? I might do a Vince Carter with the Nets. I don't know. It's like he was good there. Um, I am doing another Vince Carter video, but it's about the rumored jealousy with him and T Mac. But you know, this is strange, right? Because somehow Vince Carter's number being retired by the Nets is kind of like, oh God, who can I pick on? Give me something to pick on. Hmm. If Paul George doesn't leave, the Clippers might be the equivalent because he didn't play there so long. You almost forget about him in Indiana, even that's where his bread and butter is. And so, and I know you want to give Vince Carter something. I know this is an NBA tie-in. This is a politics tie-in because he is in the Hall of Fame. Some people don't agree with it. And he was more known with Toronto. So it's a tricky situation. It's a tricky proposition. I know what you're coming from. Yeah, because the way he left them. And to me, that was his heyday. I mean, I'm sorry, but when I think of Vince Carter peak prime, that's what it was. I think it's because the way he left. Okay, well, who else is another number 15? Well, see, theirs is a different entity. That's a different entity altogether. Um, Vince Carter should have been, well, they both should have been all time great players, but Vince should have been like in the upper echelons. Melo wasn't as great as Vince. Not, no. That Vinsanity thing was outrageous. You old enough to remember, you saw that. You know, you know. Shoot. And why Vince ain't in the same conversation with Kobe? If Gilbert Arenas, the broke clock, was right about that. Why he ain't mentioned amongst that level with D Wade, with Kobe, with it's just yeah. So he was the most important player Toronto had, and you know when you're the first to depart, leave lasting. Melo's thing was because he just did stupid stuff. I mean, Denver only didn't really, I remember all of it. You talking about Vince, right? I remember Vince's dunk. Vince dunked over everybody, almost. And if you were around to really witness him 99 to '02, it's something about 99 through '02. His peak prime window was, it just, it didn't last long. That's the only downside. But Lord, that guy was must see too. And they don't really talk about him no more. They really don't. I mean, he had the skill set. He was sick. It's the last dunk contest that moved me to the point where I walk around saying it's over. I find myself walking down the street, and sometimes because of that moment, I didn't walk down the street and go, it's over. I'd be playing Uno and be doing that. That's how impactful that was. And have a good meal and you'd be like, it's over. It's over. I mean, you want to talk about a cat that left an impression. There you go. There you go. And he was I mean, Shaq was running things on the ground. That dude was running things in the air. And for that window, he was must see TV. I remember watching it and I was like, wow. Well, you know how I feel about it. You ask me who's my favorite dunker of all time, he's the one. All due respect to Dr. J and Dominique Wilkins, you know, but that's the dude to me. I mean, I was left in awe. I was like, this guy was ridiculous. Yep. And let me set the tone for you too. It wasn't like T Mac was bad, but Steve Francis wasn't no scrub. You know, the franchise had spring in his behind. It's just that Vince was on such another level that it's like you almost forgot about the others, and the others were bad. They would have like Steve Francis in another time would have gotten crazy love, but Vince was on another level. I mean, yeah. We were really, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you something like this. We wanted the Lakers and Toronto in the finals. That's all we wanted. We just want to see Shaq and Vince go at it. That's how gangster. Everybody roasts Gobert. That's not no surprise. One of the most fraudulent. I did a video about him too. Fraudulent defensive player of the years. I told you last year. What's up? Told you last year that until Ant emerged, them two that was Twinkieville. What's up? What's up, Tom? I'm gonna say this. I understand why he did it. Man up and admit when you do things. I'm a man up. I thought they were done because Minnesota just beat the break, and it was Denver's fault. It was their fault. You know, Jokic looked good in the first round against the Lakers. He didn't look great. Well, do tell me about Bronny. But after the Shaq thing and about the MVP and SGA, then he woke his butt up. But Aaron Gordon and them, they woke their butt up. They did get outplayed. They looked horrible the first two games against Minnesota, and they didn't look that good against the Lakers. So the dissing was legit. Yeah, they still could probably win it all, but don't act like it didn't come with some, not some real sauce. The thing about Stephen A is this: he don't really talk about basketball anymore. He talks about dreams, and that's the reality. You know, I know he'd rather be in L.A. or Miami or somewhere in New York. That's what he hopes for. That ain't gonna happen, but he knows where the championship goes to. And I'm consistent. I don't have a problem with Shaq felt about SGA. I know in part of it is because of his legacy being up, but I also know that SGA legitimately could have been MVP this year. Legitimately. Just like Jokic should have won it last year. But Embiid cried and moaned. And I just got through doing a video, by the way. I talked about league MVPs, finals MVPs, East and the West. So check out my video and why Shaq is top five all time. But before that, but anyway, I understand. I saw that crap that they did yesterday. Yeah, he. Well, thank you though. My take on Stephen A. is I know what he want. He want New York to go to the finals. He wants some. It's a bias there, and he is known for flip flop. I did go on record, and I'm gonna say this: if Jokic wins, he moves in the high teens, close to top 10. He'll definitely be top five center ever. When he wins out, three league MVPs, two chips, two finals MVPs, you gotta put him, you know, high teens, top five centers ever. So that's a reality. However, they did look suspect. And they did let the Timberwolves, so that's all. How's he trolling Spike? Do tell me. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna check it out when I'm finished here in about an hour and a half. I'm gonna be on tonight for almost two, so we'll keep on talking. Yeah, Joker is the machine. That's what I call him. Anybody else, I gave him that nickname, the machine. So if anybody ever calls him that, you know where it came from. It's on this live stream. I call him the machine, process machine, because he's a machine, you know. And I said it before and I say it again. I don't know amongst the top four centers who I could take out because I don't know if I could take them out. Yeah. Um, Shaq wasn't hating. From one perspective, is this Jokic did look vulnerable. He didn't look that great against the Lakers, and he did stink it up the first two games. And SGA, if we're going by the logic, OKC did have the best record. Were they the number one seed? That's what they told Shaq with Steve Nash when they lost out the MVP. So fair game to be fair game. I'm defending Shaq on it because the hypocrisy of their voting and what they say. Fair game is fair game. Oh, well. Spike and Reggie got tongue in cheek with that. There ain't nothing to fight for, though. That series is overrated and it's not worth talking about for a few main reasons. Yes, Jalen Brunson is a great talent. I ain't arguing that. However, the Pacers are soft as a Q-tip on defense, and these teams blow each other out by 30 points, and I'm supposed to think this is some great drag down classic battle, and that's what you're trying to tell me? Quiet as it's kept, but Reggie Miller could suit up for the Pacers now. They beat the Knicks. They ain't got no leadership in Indiana. They're not consistent. They don't play no defense. They got the inside advantage, and they sit there on the perimeter, and they do dumb stuff, and they cost themselves the games. They're getting beat by a team that's running a seven-man rotation with really a six. Well, it's because he still had probably 2 or 3 years left in the tank. He took care of himself. And it said Barry Sanders, Jim Brown makes you think if he still had something left in the tank. Ray Allen did it too. There's a few guys that they retire and you wonder what if. And he was one of them. But I'm here to tell you that even if he won a ring, it wouldn't have changed my placement with him. So it all depends on how you looked at him. But anyway. But anyway, back to Bronny. No, I'm not surprised by that. He's kind of lighting the cakes. He's bulked up, but he kind of lighting the cakes. And it's gotta be a position. He gonna have to figure out where he gonna fit in. Well, yeah, but I'm not, again, great players always think they can play 1 year, 2 years. They do it all the time. That's more the norm than the rarity, you know. I get it. I get it. I definitely get it. When Megatron retired, you kind of like, oh, and you go, why? So But I like that illusion to make you think they could still play. They worn out and they tired of being a losing butt team. That would happen. He probably is nervous. You would be too. Cause you got cats who thinking you're only there because of your daddy's last name, and they gonna be coming at you. I don't even think he's getting ran at like that. Jenny Buss is a politician, y'all. In case you didn't notice, she wants seats in the fan. She wants fannies in the seats. They know they ain't gonna win nothing, but they'd rather have a circus show. I know how you feel because that's how real Laker fans feel. But you gotta remember, she's appealing to Joe and Joanne Casual. That's what's up. You know, I agree. If it's a bad spectacle, it will look embarrassing. But that's what's up. And see, LeBron set him up for failure because he said that he was better than what he's seen on NBA TV. So you know good and well, some turkey like Patrick Beverly can't wait to clothesline in one good time. That's gonna be the reality. I don't know if she gonna no, because he already got a snow bunny at the crib. In case you know, I think girl pregnant. I forgot. He already got him. He got him a bunny already. He ain't gonna disrespect his mother with her. Yeah, it's a power play. But the problem is that when he gets up on that court, he gonna definitely get pounded on, and that's the reality. They gonna hit him. The best thing for him is if he gets drafted, it's away from the Lakers. You know, somewhere like you don't know, somewhere different. Okay, I seen Gilbert's son, but I'll tell you like this, yo. It depends on where you go. I don't care how good you are. You gotta have the right coach, right system, right faith and belief in you. Because I seen guys get their hood took because they got the wrong situation. So we'll have to see where they end up going. So we'll see. That's all it always comes down to. Shoot, Scottie Pippen Jr. looked pretty good too, but again, it depends on what your circumstances are. It's a lot of little factors. No one talks about them Grant boys. Them Grant boys, they was like 30 of them playing the NBA. Yeah, it's because first of all, when you have a dad like that, that's just some big shoes to fill. And you can't come out of there and just be mediocre. You can't even come out of there and just be good. Standards is way too high. People can always compare you. Sometimes a last name works for you and against you. I'll give you a good example in music. Nat King Cole, Natalie Cole. And Natalie Cole was anybody else's, it wasn't for her dad, she would might consider one of the greatest careers, female artists. But her dad being Nat King Cole, and he was such a giant and one of the greatest artists ever that it really kind of like, and sometimes you got, when you're coming behind a big name, and of, if people hold you to crazy, crazy heights. It's true. That's not a lie. Because people were distracted and they would have made it tough for them, you know. That's true. Because he would let you know about it too. Because Jordan was competitive as all get out. He would have just rode him like a pony. You gotta be, and Jordan was like that. And I'm sure Bron had been going over a lot of things with his dad, but again, it's a different day and time with basketball. And guys are gonna come after him, force him had to move, throw body jabs at him. He's got to do certain things. It's just the reality. It's Tyrese and Anita Baker. And yeah, I heard about the story. And I have a problem with artists today who just think it's not cool to go stand up people at the concert. People spend all this money because, as I told you about the Jackson 40 years ago, $30 was a big deal. And I know you may laugh at that now before you were born. You might laugh at that now. That was considered a lot of money. Please. You got some third, fourth tier buster. That's in the nosebleed section. You know what? I did a video where I had to defend Brian McKnight because Elder did too, because of him being a father to his kids. He took care of it, and they not responsible for his kids as a grown man. That's why I flipped on that part. But Brian will pay a price in the black community but it's unfortunate in a way because the rappers, people say the N word, the B word, disrespect black folks. So how you gonna hold Brian McKnight into this acclaim, but yet, because what Kendrick is doing right now, and that whole disrespect of him and Drake going back and forth, what's that about? Really think about it. Yeah, Tyrese do shuffle. And he very sensitive too, so take that how you want to take it with Tyrese. Nothing ever seems to go Tyrese's way. Brian McKnight had some stuff that went on with his previous marriage. I happen to hold him in high regard as an artist, though. But you know, these things be going on. I wonder what he did. Probably just being a cornball brother. He was corny. I mean, I still don't. You know. Okay. Now tell me something that he said that offended you on the network, though. Do tell, because I need something to work with. I have a hard time remembering what a cornball, because he is a cornball. Probably did. Okay, that's probably true. Probably did. Probably threw his braids at her face or something. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I get him and Jason Williams mixed up, Jay Will, and you know why? Because sometimes Jay Will, when he's on, but sometimes he be slurping. So I don't know. But RG3 never really had any real deep personality. So they probably just said, let him roll. Probably said, let him roll. Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Of course they don't. Until they fire his behind, until he come the N word. There are some cats that actually say that with a straight face, though. They are. I always applaud you for being aware because some of these cats out here, I mean, they'll look you dead in your face and be like, "What's the problem? They just lynching. They don't even unless something happens to them. I'm like, look, I don't have it to happen to me to be woke up. And, I got asked all the time why I feel the way I do about Trump. I said because Central Park 5, when that happened back in '89, I was about the same age as those guys. I'm one of those kind of people that I think, why not me? I said, why not? It couldn't happen because if they see black folk, they see you, they gonna look at you a certain way. And there's also some of these cats that lie to themselves to deny it because they want to appear, worthy of the position on those whack jobs until a guy basically calls them Toby. So, well, if he don't see supremacy, he wasn't raised right. And he really is a sad shell of a black man for not for who he's with, for not knowing his history, especially being a black quarterback in the NFL, where it stood for Negroes Forget Leadership. Because in case he don't know, he quarterback in an era where it was still very rare for a black quarterback. Mm, I don't equate who people are with as far as that goes because there is so much. I'm gonna explain this. You are you despite your uniform. Like I said before, I've told you before, I've seen people that as black as this beret been together, skillet black. And you listen to them talk, and they talk white like my teeth. So you can't go by that. You can't go by that. Sooner or later, they going to reveal how they really think and feel. So don't be fooled by what you see unless you know said person. Some people be more sharper to things. I think Jason Kelsey is funny. I think he'll be kind of like a Jeff Saturday. That's what I think they'll kind of role play him as. I just hope they don't give him a corny job and do like Jeff Saturday, and he's sitting over there on the sidelines for Minnesota or something, and he stinks it up, and he has to put that blazer back on. Just don't let that happen, and don't quote me for being right if that does happen, because they always do that to them white boys. They'll find a way to get them a job. They'll suck up, and then they'll come back with that blazer on. I'm gonna say it like this. if you pro black no matter what the settings is. If someone offends you and you speak your mind, why would you change? Why you gotta act different? Obviously, when you're at work, you're gonna be more on code because you certain things you may not say per se, personally. However, when you amongst people, period, don't be afraid about being who you are. Flex that. But unless a lot of black folks be conditioned by these racial conditions, because that's why what happened. And they're afraid that if they was to show that side, that they'd be alienated and taken away from what you already are. So whatever. That's the thing. That's what the crippling effect about systematic institutionalized racism is. Yeah, I come do a video about that one. And I'm gonna say this. Yes, you can have friends of different races and backgrounds. No one can say that. However, you better make sure you know what you're dealing with. You better make sure that you're aware, you know. But don't be delusional for inclusion. Just don't do it. That's what gets you in trouble, you know. Because if your butt falls in like Titanic, they ain't gonna save your butt with no life jacket. And the only donut you will get will probably be a glazed donut, and they'll probably take the glaze off and just throw it to you. So yeah, they thought it was funny. Happens a lot. Gotta be careful with the company you keep and gotta know what agendas are. I'm gonna do that video tomorrow. Yep. People get mad when you talk about racism and talk about the institutionalized systematic, but they ain't got no answers. And this somehow gets condoned. That's the sad part. So yeah. Yeah, you find out where you are, but as long as you being yourself, you know where you stand with people. You should be able to have a heart to heart conversation. Because I know we're gonna get deep on this real quick. Um, One thing you'll learn in this life, as I'll say, you'll have black folks that will act nonchalant to you. You have some white folks that will want to be with you. It cuts both ways. Now, in the racial hierarchy, whatnot, we would think that we have more closeness, but we don't. We really don't. And a lot of it is because of slavery. The plantation mindset dictates a lot. We watch it play out now. People getting excited about Drake and Kendrick. Why? People getting excited about Shannon Sharp popularizing all these people coming on the show that are dissing black folks, Cat Williams, etc. Now listen, we love people like gossip and tabloids and all that. Shaq coming back at Shannon Sharp, all this and stuff. But then you have to ask yourself, why don't y'all ever work together? Why y'all so mad? And you know good and well you wouldn't do that to someone that was white. Yeah, Gary Owens comes on Shannon Sharp, it ain't getting the same viewership. It's getting some numbers under pedestrian, but it's not getting you know why? Because it's not the same. That's why we be our own worst enemies and our own worst. And it's designed that way. You run to those plantations, you get treated like that. That's the cold reality. Sure he was. Well, Perk is bought and paid for because I remember he looks like that deacon at your church, and we know Perk would have a 2.5 minute ESP highlight reel, and Perk got perks by sitting up there slurping. So we know how Perk has to act. He has to stay on code, but he wasn't lying though. LeBron ain't winning no rings now with that situation, and you got to keep going through Jokic. You may as well consider retiring because you're gonna get old and have to carry you all one way or the other. You can use that quote if you want to. Perk got perks because he did. And that was to sit there and push the agenda. You know how it go. I told you my mind worked like that. I got these quotes. They just come about me. Yeah, well, NBC wants to either whiten it up or they're gonna have some banter, but it won't be the same as what you see on TNT. They won't. They're gonna probably put Bob Costa. They'll come up with some crap. They'll probably have that Mike Frilliolo, that hating buster who talk crazy trash. Yeah, but when he got on ESPN, that barbecue became a brown sports coat and it was covered in beer juice. He changed. They got him. They got him. They got him. And I don't know how in the world a 2.3, 3.2, 1.2 career point average mean mugging got hooked up for middle America. Make it make some sense. But he got perks. He got hooked up. Yeah, I miss it. I mean, I love the NBC music. I know old school, cats grew up watching. But that's a different era. You had Michael Jordan. You don't have that anymore. You had a young Shaquille O'Neal coming and Kobe and them coming. And you had Duncan coming, you had Vince Carter coming. You ain't got that kind of allure now. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. It's about your heart, not your height. Because anybody's stupid enough to think that, if you can play, you can play. His herky jerky, mobile, moving, womble moving self, sometimes he can't be stopped. He's like a bobblehead. He be making it happen. What you gonna do? I don't look at nobody's height. Allen Iverson proved that. Steph proved that. Isaiah Thomas proved that. It's not like you didn't had guys who weren't considered undersized and they didn't left a lasting impression. It's about your heart. It ain't about your size. Stop getting it twisted. I mean, because if it was about size, wouldn't Yao Ming be in the argument as the top three greatest centers ever? I mean, come on now. Keep it 100. And I do respect Becky Hammond. She's good. And, Rachel gets her props. But yeah, he did. Back in the day, Rick Bronson. But he wasn't like a household name. It's going to be like Joe Jellybean Bryant. Except I think Jellybean was bigger. I think, yeah, Jellybean was probably middle, second tier, high third tier. Bronson was like third tier. But again, it's almost so obscure. You had to be like a diehard fan to remember him. He had some moments, but yeah, I said second and a half tier, third tier is what I said. Rick Brunson was probably like third, 3.5. If you ever watch how I break down people by tiers, that should tell you. I ain't say Jelly Bean was holding nobody. I ain't say he was that memorable. I mean, he had a cool nickname. He had a cool nickname, and he had a couple okay moments, but he wasn't cracking the Sixers starting five. He wasn't seeing George McGinnis. He wasn't seeing, Steve Mix, Bobby Jones, Dr. J. He wasn't that. He was in that. He wasn't seeing them guys, Maurice Cheeks. He wasn't seeing them cats or Dawkins. So, you know, yeah. Who talking about Jelly Bean? How you gonna even talk about Jelly Bean too much? Well, they have to. They have to. They're selling. That's why, in case you didn't notice, even paying attention, LeBron didn't kind of moonwalked off him lately. LeBron doesn't talk about him like he did. I think he knows the kid ain't there yet. And quiet is kept, it's not so quiet. He should go back to school for at least another year and then probably get some G League experience. And then I think probably go international or something. Probably be like when he's about 2021, maybe come back. By the time he's ready for the NBA, Braun will be about done. That's what I'm thinking. But they gotta romanticize it. They got agenda to sell. Yeah, I remember when he said that crackhead remark. I don't know what 40% he was looking at. Maybe he must have been talking about Gabe. Hey, you got to think about, I mean, his son ain't better than the worst player you can think of right now. Okay. You can find the worst player on the Detroit Pistons, and he's going to wax Bronny as we start right now. So go look at the Detroit Pistons. Who is he going to bust? You know, he'll make, he'll make Ish, he'll make Ish Smith look like the second coming of Steph Curry. You know it's true. Shoot. Anybody on the Pistons right now will bust his cakes right now, and they stink, okay? Or the Wizards. You gonna tell me that Bronny could hang with Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma? Come on now. So you think again. Be careful what you say. It won't hurt his legacy, but what it'll do, it'll dampen his credibility. What'll happen is that when he goes to become an owner, that would be a big egg on him for that. It won't hurt his legacy. Because it can't hurt his legacy because it's not like Bronny is the missing link for a title run. See, ain't like he gonna come out here and say, if you don't grab my son, I don't think I can win a ring. He ain't stupid now. He crazy. He ain't dumb. So there's a big difference between what you say and what you mean. Oh, I'm just saying Jordan Poole would too. Bump that. Pick people that pick. I want you to get in the bushes. Pick somebody in the bushes. Even Jordan Poole stunk it up in Washington, got booed with like his old Golden State form. Pick somebody in the bushes. Find somebody that you think they suck. Like they scrub, they whack sauce. Bronny gonna get ate up. Because it's a whole different level of guys that can play in that level. And you don't know it until you get there. And then Cameron Payne be like Major Payne. Can you call him Major Payne? He'd be like Major Payne. He said, boy, get on up here. You remember Damian Wayne's like, boy, get up here. He'd be like Major Payne. Yeah, he throw that zigzag thing that he be doing. Cameron Payne eat him up. That's a good name that you mentioned too, because Cameron still got a job too. And they let him get away with scoring them 6 points and treat him like, yeah. I'm just saying. See, so no, you ain't ready for that. You ain't ready for that level. That's why LeBron don't talk that crazy talk no more. Yeah, old Kyle Lowry right now be looking like he be looking like Paul George. You be getting him some buckets on him. You can pick anybody you want. And the worst of the cats right now would light his behind up. Nobody. Except ball boys. That's about it. And there might be a couple of them ball boys who might break his ankles. Look, we gotta understand something. He's some grown men, and even these cats as young as him or older, they're gonna put wood to him. And then the guys coming from overseas, are you kidding me? And he go drive against Wimby, and Wimby gonna put that ball in the 10th row. I mean, you got to have a growth spurt. You got to have a maturation spurt. You got to have someone. And see, that's the saddest part right there. Here you go. Because that's third tier level right there. But he looks like his daddy compared to Bronny. Okay. Well, appreciate that. Thank you. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, I had to do them for different reasons. I like when Doc Rivers spoke his mind, and you know, I love it when it happens to them even more so than black folks because they are even worse because their stepping and bucking is even worse because it's like they be as black as his hat skin wise, and they said, "I'm not Negro. I'm like you." And then what happened? Boom, and they get hit hard. And they act like they didn't see it. They didn't because they've been self to self hate. But to come over to the states and they think everybody's beneath, but they think everybody's above black folk until they get that wake up call, and then that boom hits that butt, and then it's like I want to go back home. That's what happened. So they do love to talk about. Okay, yeah, or they talk bad about black folk and talk in a different language until they get busted. But the reality is they're worse off than we are. They don't understand it. They just don't understand it. What they do is a little bit different because let me name some people. You see what I'm coming about. Oscar De La Hoya, Ted Cruz, Jennifer Lopez. They Americanize themselves. They make it a point of trying to fit in. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen. You know, always want to say the N word, always got something to say. Got something to say. That's all she got is the booty. I tell her all the time. I say if she get her career back, all she got to do is stick her butt on OnlyFans. Don't say nothing. Play some music and just make it rumble. That's it. She ain't got no hits right now, so just rumble. Don't say nothing. That's all the reason why she blew up. Oh, you didn't know about that? You didn't know about that? So oh God, oh what's her butt? The white girl he used to mess with. Um, that was in the movie the white chick he messed with that was in the movie with Eddie Griffin. Oh God, the one that he was messing with. Oh, she was blonde. She was nice looking babe too back in the day. Oh, what's her butt? Come on now. Help me out. You better go get your Google out. Um, dang. Yeah, there you go. So he had some irate moment and he said the N word and he went off. He pulled one of the Mel Gibson N words on her. Yeah, it was bad, y'all. It was bad. And you know he been passing the house in Virginia around. You know that's why he been out of the scene. You know that, right? He spread that house in Virginia for a few of them women's. No one charged him, no. He never got charged. They don't say nothing about it. Oh yeah, you know about the Charlie Sheen iced tea is pouring over. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And see, let me throw this at you. back when Wall Street was big and that was his breakout movie, right? He was like the Latino Mexican Tom Cruise, except his dad and him had him white-fied. And you remember Emilio? Yes, she did. And Emilio, his brother, did who looks more he looks more authentic. When he was in the Mighty Ducks Part 88, I'm sure you remember them. Emilio did that's when he messed with Paula Abdul. All that stuff. All that stuff. Yeah. Don't you like it when I go live and we have these conversations about people that you mention so randomly and I can just channel in? Thank you. Thank you. That's why I'm always glad that you're here because we talk about people. I didn't know I'll never bring this up in a regular video. Yeah, and she's a sellout. And if you ever listen to the old Willie D song, he called her butt out back in 89 or 90. He called her butt out. Yeah. She pulled that Kamala Harris, but she's low key. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Because after she messed with Arsenio and messed with Jackie Jackson, that's what got her butt on the notoriety. Was messing with Jackie Jackson. She was a LA Laker girl, and then Jackie's wife found out about it. Oh yeah, she got pulled on too by that American Idol cat too. When them cats was pulling on that, probably said, "Bring your drunk behind over here," because you know Paul used to hit that bottle, and look, she did some sugar boogers too. Mm-hmm. Did some of that. Did some white pound cake. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You didn't know what? You didn't know what? About what? What part you didn't know? Oh yeah. She used to drink. She could dance, but sometimes she looked like she was toe up. Oh yeah, she had a little. Yeah, she had some issue with her non-singing butt, and I always thought she looked body shape was awkward. I had one of my buddies back in the day thought she was stacked. I never quite got it. I mean, she had a decent face, but I never got it. But she seemed like she was double pitched drunk, and she had ghosts in the studio too. She just like J Lo. She was a pre J Lo. She had ghosts singing her songs. She can't sing. She couldn't carry a note if her life depended on it. Yep. So they Willie D. Type in Willie D dissing Paula Abdul. I forgot what the song is, but it's on there. That was funny too. He had some hard lines too. Yeah, they did. She messed with Arsenio, but she broke with Arsenio. She messed with Amelia. She was married about 2 or 3 times. Oh yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of that. Hollywood, man, I tell you. See, I'm gonna tell you something. You were real young at the time. In the '80s, they was wearing color contact lenses and doing all kinds of things. That's nothing new. They'll try all that stuff. I remember it just like yesterday. Yeah, I had somebody come on there, they didn't like that video, but I don't care. But I know what he's doing. But again, that's the kind of demographic he's playing towards because he is a crossover light skinned brother. And there's a reason why he has the opportunity he's got. And she traveled too. Did you see that? Did you see that short film when she got caught for traveling? Yeah, they're gonna. Oh yeah, there's a short video where Chapin and Caitlin Clark traveling. The ref called her for steps. She got caught. Now you suck if you get caught for traveling, male or female, in this day and time. I mean, really? Who gets caught for traveling? But people who tend to be 3-point shooters tend to palm the ball. They tend to get away with some steps. They do. The only one who could probably get away without doing this probably is like Clay. Steph got handle skills though, but Clay because he don't even dribble. She got busted. It's on that video. I was cracking up. The ref blew that whistle because you can't lean and peer back and forth and then pick up the rock. Not legally, you can't. But since these refs don't call traveling no more, that's what they let. That's all. Yeah, she traveled. I seen that. I seen that. She can play. Tarasi can play. Well, she will back it up. Caitlin Clark gonna learn that you gotta be very careful. Oh, I'd imagine so. I didn't find that one that you said that Jimmy clapped back. I didn't see that because I was gonna make a story, but I didn't see that. Well, because you know why it's still going on? Because Pat Riley got skills. He got real bars. You see, a fraud like Donald Trump who tries to roast can't roast. Pat Riley can roast. Pat Riley been through the trenches. And he's calling out a cat that went fraudulent like Jimmy. Of course he would. Tell you something. Pat Riley, Drake better be lucky. Not Drake. Kendrick Lamar better be lucky. Pat Riley ain't no rapper. He tear his behind up too. But Pat he backs up what he says. And common sense is common sense. And Jimmy Butler should have shut up. Ain't nothing you can do when you've been street clothes. He did. But that wasn't even the hardest thing he said. But you see, you always get at me about Tyler Hero. He called him fragile. Now, what you got to say about Pat Riley? I didn't say that. He called him fragile. I know what fragile means in the streets, but That's what he said. And you thought I was hard on Pat? Like, I'm a Heat fan. Like, I watch these team. I don't watch because I don't walk around with selective vision on. You play on the team I root for, I got some expectations. I see you up there kind of coasting and loafing, I'm gonna call you out. But I ain't paying your salary. Pat Riley paying your salary, and he called you what you is. Well, he need to step his game up, and he didn't. He got punked by the Celtics. He tried to act tough, and they pushed him back. And they're like, "What you gonna do, homeboy?" And he can't do nothing because he can't beat him. He can't beat him with his assist game. He can't beat him with his rebounds. You know, and everybody knows that on that Heat team, he's probably the fourth, fifth man up, who they need to actually play like he's the third, but it ain't in him. He ain't no alpha. That's why. Pat Riley's like, look, so you got to bring it. Top five, because he'll move past Moses and Hakeem. He'll have 2 rings, 2 chips, and 3 league MVPs. And then when you start factoring all those triple doubles and his stats and his dominance, you have to really start to put him. Yeah, that's what I would do. And the other factor is the reason why is that he's a singular figure, but with more, volatile. Now, does that necessarily mean that I think he could have muscled Moses Malone? I don't I could say that because Moses was something else. Does that mean that he was agile and athletic as Elijah one? However, when you start to put the totality, that's how big it would be for him this year to do that. And since no one is going to get in his walking path, that's where he would be. I didn't think of him as a gimmick and a choker. I just didn't think that he had I didn't find the magnitude, I didn't think he had that next level. I didn't think of him as a gimmick because he could score and move. And I didn't see him as a choker because I looked at Jamal Murray, I looked at the team. I just didn't think that the depth was there. But when I looked at the way he orchestrates that thing like a machine, that those guys play off of what he does and how instrumental and how they have to be accountable. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jamal. Yeah. Well, Jamal, the only thing with Jamal is that because he's kind of like, it just would depend if he came on the regular season and people's healthy and focused. But you know what? I mean, he's legit. He's very legit. Yeah, I hope he's had an injury because he's really fell off this series. But I mean,
Okay, I
because
found this on the
because
web for
because
this
the thing
series.
is
Check it out.
as long as he can hold his own, um, do certain things that he has to be able to do. But then again, if KCP comes through, they get contributions, they'll be okay. I think once they get this series done, they're gonna be ready to roll. Because you already know OKC and Dallas can't beat them. So he'll be ready for the next round. I said that to you already. Two things got to happen. He gonna have to play like Iverson, and they need somebody to come along that can just make shots. That's all they need. That's a winnable series if they get a cherry picker, but he has to play like Iverson. But what are the chances Kyrie's only gonna score 9 and Luka's gonna be held 18, and they only win by 4, and they hold them under 100. So you know they see what they're gonna have to do next year. I do believe next year, in the next 2 years, they should be there in that argument with Denver. They're gonna be in that argument. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I saw him at the game. I don't know about that because what do they got? Donovan Mitchell ain't no franchise player. And the truth is, they got pieces right now that if you bring a name or a guy that can play, they're a legit postseason contender. And the road to the finals is easier in the East. So I don't know. When you say moved on, they're more closer if they got someone like him. So I don't know if they moved on from him. That ain't gonna do nothing. Well, I know he's available, but you don't know. Did you know the news? He ain't with Clutch no more. So think about that for a moment. Oh, you ain't know about that? You ain't know about that? I had it sent to me. What was it 2 days ago? Yeah, it's some. You can go look it up right now. He signed. Let me see. I gotta look it up. Let's see. Train. I don't know, but he will be traded though. He will be traded. He will get traded. What's up? Trey gonna get traded because they got the number one draft pick. So let that stay in mind. This is the best time they can get a real crazy move. Rudy soft as a croissant. Yeah, I told you about Rudy. Well, I never was big on Rudy Gobert. And last night was very telling. Remember, he had 18 points and 18 boards. And usually that's a great night. That's a Dwight Howard night, right? And they said it wasn't relevant because it wasn't. He just, it's almost like they masked him for something. Yeah, I did hear Trey left clutch, but that doesn't mean he won't still get traded. He ain't gonna get guys on his level. If Ant wants to get guys on his level, he's got to have guys like Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox to be on his level. Could you imagine Ant with those two guys? That's your big three. That would be a scary big three for right now. That would be on his level. If this was about 10 years ago, Conley helps him out, but Conley is not a consistent point guard like that. He's not. McDaniels is streaky, good to very good, but he's about a year or two away, and they're too inconsistent. And that's just the fact. I like Mike Conley a lot, but he was never a top tier point guard. He was one of those guys to me that could definitely complement. I don't think he'd have to take him under his wing. I think that if I was Ant, if I was Ant, I would learn from Giannis. You need to watch a guy who was broken down as an eighth man on the bench, who made into a sixth, to rose himself up through the ranks, how he got better. And you keep working on you work on everything. That's who you watch. See, because Giannis could do wonders for Ant. And Ant's got outside shot, but learn how to bunny hop, you learn how to take over, you learn how to be aggressive. Yeah, I saw most of it last night. I saw the video. Oh yeah, she's gonna have a rough outing. What they're gonna do is put the zone on her, and they're gonna pick her pockets. It's high screen, them high picks, and she's gotta hurry up and hit that shot top the key. She gonna find out real quick. Ain't gonna be so easy. Yep. But welcome to WNBA. The hype is bigger than the. I told you about that, but is it recent or was it at that NBA All Star mess? I saw that. These Cougars take good care of their bodies. That's what's up. You know, of course she is, but then she's got to keep her with Laura Pippen. I mean, Larsa Pippen. So they be working in tandem. I mean, she keeps her body up, so Cat probably will be excited. And she ain't gonna hold nothing back. The only problem I have with it is that these chicks, the same old ones, keep getting passed around and passed around and passed around. And that's all it is. And after a while, it's just 304, slap it third, slap it fourth. It's not even slap it seconds, it's slap it third, fourth. That's what they push. Yeah, you said that. You said that a few days ago. I didn't pay that no mind. He washed. His body gave out. And first of all, can't say they are in a contention to win. Because that was last year. It's a whole new year. And I'm sure that teams are going to come at CJ Strauss with a different look in the package. I mean, granted, they can come out that division, but we'll see what Jacksonville does or the Colts. But I mean, you thinking one thing, but when you got to go against Kansas City, mm, you know, you know. And I don't know if you, unless you really got that kind of team, But we'll see though. I just wish he'd stay retired. I don't care what they do. I got him top three. And I can make a case he can be one, two, or three. Makes no difference to me. That's how good he is. And you ain't gonna see another one like him no time soon. And if you think I'm lying, ask yourself Joe Burrows, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson. Now, all them guys, one guy got one Super Bowl appearance. Mahomes got four. Mahomes got three rings. All them guys got donuts. Come on now. Um, in sports too, sometimes they do. Basketball, they will. Football is debatable. It's debatable, but there's arguments that are fair. So it depends on what we're talking about. Um, the funny thing about entertainers, they love the black ones more, but they still find a way to throw the Beatles and the Stones or Elvis to the extent of. But they do love black entertainers the more though. That's the trip out thing. Jimi Hendrix. And white folks take Hendrix over Clapton all day and twice next Wednesday. Yes, they do. Cause I've been around enough. And I've had a lot of guitar conversations, and Hendrix mops the floor with him, and they agree. Clapton hated it too, and Clapton old no bigot too, but and he couldn't see Hendrix. He never did evolve. Wasn't even close. Okay, 1976. British. Look it up. Eric Clapton, 1976. It was a British prime minister. Look it up. Elvis Costello too. Yeah, look them up. Well, we go live. It's like I give you the news flash because again, these things don't come up in my regular videos. But if you want to, you ask me about certain folks, I will give you the context. Yes. And even though he's downplayed it over time because he's hung over black musicians and all that, whatever. Clapton was all down with Governor Abbott. Well, I already told you about Trump and Joe Biden and uh, most of the presidents. That's pretty obvious. Um, if you're talking about music, it depends on who you're talking about. It depends on who you're talking about. I think most of them are though. I know they got to be. Oh well, music is obviously you can see Kid Rock. He's got black. But that don't mean nothing. Child, he's good old boy. Um, Mel Gibson. I'm sure you know what Mel Gibson, Charlie Sheen. Sylvester Stallone. Said some suspect things. Arnold Schwarzenegger, low key, but not so low key. Sports, I think almost them NFL owners. Yep, most of them NFL owners, because the one that's what's that Woody Johnson of the Jets, and a lot of them ones that be supporting Trump. hmm And reason why I tied into that is because they didn't really like having to do the Black Lives Matter logos, and they spoke out against it. A lot of them. So there's a lot of them, It's really no different because again, as long as yeah, I mean, I bring it up because oh yeah, Jason Aldean. Does that ring a bell? Not in our town. And he came out. I did the video where he dissed Jay Z because Jay Z was sent to Nashville to come track him down for Beyonce's, you know, yeah, for that album because he was supposed to do the song that Post Malone did. I believe that was the plan. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. Now I'm not saying he ain't trash. I'm just saying you asked me, and so was that other one that came out with that racist, the one the other country cat. Yeah, but Darius ain't getting no love though. They don't care about Hootie. They think he's a good one, even though he's spoken out against stuff. But it's all systematic, y'all. It's just really what it is. I know Toby Keith was. Yeah, I like Darius. He went through a whole lot of hardships with Hootie. They got pelted at. Yeah, because when I started talking about Hootie and the Blowfish, they was big, and I remember in '95 when that whole thing popped off. Hmm I still remember when he was cabbage patching in the video with Dan Marino. I want to be with you. Call me a fool. And they were big. And then he tried a neo soul rocker. And then he went country. So he tried a little bit of everything. But never really got, had some love here and there. So the country thing is where he stopped. Yep. I remember that like yesterday. Putting a little Dylan. I remember that like yesterday. He's a huge Marino fan too. I remember. I don't know why he regrets it. He lost to a better team. And that was a strange finals, if you want my honest opinion, because they lost the games at home and then they beat Chicago, and that was some wild, crazy overtime game. But the bottom line was Jordan was just blazing their butts. And he wasn't even the best player on Phoenix. I think Reggie Dumas was the best player on Phoenix that series. I just think that the way they lost Game 6 is probably what hurts him. And it would be amazing. It was painful because Horace Grant had like 1 point in that game. That was crazy. And Paxson shot that ball stayed up there forever. I remember because it almost felt like he was cursed because he found ways to lose too. And it's almost like he couldn't seal the deal. And had he won a ring, yeah, we might be talking about almost top 10. Because, I mean, he was a great player, you know. But he had some bad, horrific losses, though. But that one against the Bulls, I can't really hope. They were just a better team. I remember. Magic wanted him, too. And he would have been scary, too. I remember. If they had him, it would have been closer because Worthy got hurt. Cooper, they got hurt, injuries, and if they had him, it would definitely made that a 7 game series. Because those 5 games were pretty close. So they had him, it probably would have been. I don't think that's too far fetched to say. I don't know if they beaten the 91 Bulls though. Because there was no answer for Jordan. And the Bulls bench and Scotty was so I don't know. Scotty's defense was tight. The bench was on point. I don't know. I don't know. But I think it would have definitely gone 7 and it would have been tight. So it depends on what kind of adjustments you make. Probably 92. Probably 92. And I think because they were just really seasoned. It took every ounce out of them in 93. Now, obviously, when they won all those games, 96, but there's something about that 92 team. I mean, he was really floating on air. I mean, he really was that was like peak prime right there, you know. So had the right components, had the right pieces, everything lined up. So I don't know if I'd say they're the worst one because they beat Phoenix pretty good the way they won. They got by the Knicks and they were battle tested. Um, he didn't need it. He didn't need it. I thought if you say that about the 93, then I think the 98 team was the most vulnerable if you want my honest opinion. They were very vulnerable. But the thing is that because once they got by teams like the Pistons, you know, yeah, but it's also the Barkley flavor. But they didn't really play good defense and they got caught up where I thought Reggie Dumas was to me the best player on that Suns team for that series, not better than Barkley for a career nothing, but Charles was a little bit older at that time. He had played great, but he wasn't, he got an MVP kind of almost like they had to give him one, Well, he probably should have got one in 90 or 89. That 93, he was great enough to what he did, but they weren't a dominant team. So, you know, but Jordan ran them down, though. Yeah, because she balanced against Shaq and she played. Who was his teammate? Who was Sheed's teammate? Now, I know who I'm about to say was 58, but that was Jokic's daddy. That was Avita Sabonis. And so I know they went at it in practice. So I'm sure he could. And I'm telling you, as great as Jokic is, and he's great, Sabonis was 3 times better. And that's the one dude I wish I had gotten to see his whole NBA career unfold. Because he was doing all what Jokic does. Tim Wills could use Sheed, Dennis Rodman, um, Charles Oakley, Carmel. They need like a whole lot of toughness that they need to go find like bouncers. And, Sheed wouldn't play with them Timberwolves though, because they played too soft. You couldn't help them because they too soft. He's yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because if they start putting people like Chauncey Billups and some people like that in the Hall of Fame, you gotta have Sheed in. You gotta have Sheed in. If we're going by our criteria, not quite. But we're going by the agenda that I'm seeing, yeah. Well, yeah, because it's not. They got people they're putting up that people kind of shrug shoulders about. I mean, not everybody was cool with Vince Carter being quite a Hall of Fame, and definitely not Chauncey Billups. So, yeah, based on what they're doing, by kind of she would be in. I mean, he was a very good player. So, you know, just saying. The standard bar and got lowered. I mean, they going all this about Draymond Green being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Why not Sheed then? I'll take Sheed over Draymond Green. If it wasn't for them MVPs, he wouldn't be in. And I think he needed 2 of them to get in. I don't think one gets him in, if you want my honest opinion. One don't get him in. 2 got him in. Because he was never a dominant point guard. He never stood out. That's why. I'm one of them people that if it wasn't for the 2 MVPs, he ain't in. He needed 2 to get in. One wouldn't have do it. One wouldn't do. Because he wasn't seen as tough and he wasn't a guy that they felt they could win with. And they already had one big Dirk. They didn't need Junior Whopper Dirk. One floppy mop head. You don't need 2 floppy heads and you're getting your butt knocked off in the second round. Well, yeah, more so in Phoenix, not so much in Dallas, because Dallas didn't really have no identity. It just wasn't gonna work. But with Phoenix, yeah, because he had the right system, he was his team and everything, and he couldn't get it done. And he did everything that you thought was right. I mean, he moved and wheeled and he was quick and agile and all that, but he didn't play no defense. He couldn't play half court basketball. They got winded, and when they go against certain teams that can work them, that was a wrap. It's not that he wasn't talented because he's quick, agile, vibrant, but Oh yeah, okay. My JJ Reddick joke. That's why. Oh yeah, Archie Bunker. That's right. Called him Archie Bunker. Cause that's what he is. I mean, he don't like nobody, and he do. He making racist remarks and got to pick on every ethnic group. So yeah, call him Archie Bunker. I'm glad you. I know. Glad you heard me say it. Yeah, I mean, that's what he is. You know how Archie Bunker was. Oh yeah, those red ones. Yeah, them brown ones. And them blacks stay high. That's what he sound like. Old bigot. Sure. There's a lot that think like him. They just ain't gonna come out and say it because they gotta protect their. But he represents quite a few. And I'm gonna be real with you because you never brought it up, but I'll bring it up. That's how we used to think about a lot of them white boys at Duke. Yep. Gloria was stacked too. Gloria messing with Lionel Jefferson, yeah. But Carol O'Connell just talked about the character. He thought about I portray this role and see what happens. And it turned into gold. He wasn't like that in real life, but there's a lot of people that think like that though. When I was coming along, they were seen as prim and proper and stuck up and stuff. That's why we hated Duke. That's why when UNLV barbecued them turkeys, I was clapping. I couldn't stand them. I thought Shashesky was just, you know, and Christian Leitner, because a lot of cats hated Leitner. But I will say this: he's in my top 6 or 7 greatest college basketball players I've seen in my lifetime. That was a bad white boy in college. In college, he was legit, and he had that pompous smugness, and I couldn't stand it. They were all like that. So, and the brothers were like kind of stuck up, bougie. That's why Grant Hill fit in really good. The first cat that I liked that, yeah, yep. The first cat that I liked from Duke that was a brother was probably Corey Maggette. Corey was like a bit different. I was like the first one I could tolerate. Because a lot of times when them cats came out of Duke, they couldn't make it in the NBA. They weren't that good. So, but and of course Kyrie's been a bit different though. So that's funny. Yeah, he he's definitely understands his crossover appeal, you know. But he's raised a certain way. So, and I liked him his game. I mean, I thought he had a good game. I just thought that, you know, he can articulate, but you probably like Tamia even better. They've been married for 20 plus years. That's after he broke up with Jada, so. Oh yeah, because when he depends on what's in his cup, you gotta check his cup. Well, I'm glad he's got some personality for a change because he was a stiff brother. He was definitely giving RG3 cornball brothers vibe. Now, now, because I be listening to him talk, and I know he be lying half the time, like he trolling, because he's like, these guys are really bringing it tonight. These guys, oh, Kevin Harlan, I am very honored to be here. I love this NBA. It is fantastic. It is so splendid, you know. And Ernie and Charles and Shaq and Kenny is really great basketball, you know. And, I could feel the fans tingling. Yeah, he talked. Yeah, no. But that's how he keeps the bag. Oh, heck yeah, Marv was the truth. Because he actually talked the game and he would broadcast, but he would actually be in it. But yeah, Reggie acts like he's got a fingernail board out and he's doing his nails when he's talking. He ain't trying to be there, but it pays the bills. Because he knows that stuff is watered down. Stuff is like crystal light, but he's trying to sell it. So I know what he's doing. That's why those cats get caught tap dancing because they know it'd be bad. They know it'd be bad. But Perk, because he, again, that's what he got. Jalen came front and center. But what got Jalen in trouble was he caught feelings. He actually cared about stuff. And, Perk talks like it ain't no thing, a game, these guys, whatever. Jalen come from a different cut, but Jalen had to learn the TV game. But again, you got to be so careful because it depends on how you break it down. So Jalen School is Detroit is good. Okay. Well, the more and more stuff comes out with him, you know how that go. But I don't really get into that because I'm gonna tell you like this: they all bought and paid for, and there's definitely somebody that's putting money behind it. So you know they put who they want to put. They push who they want to push. You know how it go. So he should because it was a joke. I'll probably do a video about that. It wasn't that funny. And on top of that, it really didn't really make any sense because um let me tell you why. He's not a really mean spirited white boy. He's a pompous white boy and he's got that Tom Cruise arrogance about it. Because he's white boy and parent, what you think they're gonna be watching? What else they gonna be watching? They're not gonna be watching Nickelodeon at night, not with them perverts over there. But anyway, and he ain't out with Kevin Hart and all that. Antonio Brown hanging at his crib, ate the cake, ate both the cakes. What you expect? How much secrets can you get? Now, if he had a real roast, it'd be worth watching. That wasn't no real roast. The real roast would have been taking shots at Roger Goodell for having a destroyed film. That'd have been the real roast. Yeah, him and Kraft, that's suspect. I don't know. The real roast would have been laying in the Bill Belichick. You how that quarterback situation look without me. Oh, the Caitlyn one. I think well, I don't think I would have said shoot. Oh, Brady. I'd have said, I said, where's Roger Goodell with them videos at? I said, what happened? I said, where that inflated football at? What happened? I said, how? I said, how it feel, Bill Belichick out there? How that Mac Jones experiment go? They threw some lame Aaron Hernandez jokes out there. I heard that mess. I said, yeah, how'd it go? He probably won't want you on the mic. I mean, my jokes would have been pretty, but they'd have been hitting though. They'd have hit. Well, I roast Bill. I ain't got much to say about yourself because she's sloppy. So I said, Leonardo DiCaprio out here thinking, thank you. Like I stopped at 25. Thank you, Tom. That's what I would have said about that. Leonardo got out of that. You know, to hit Bill up for sure. I said, where's that Make America? Where's that mega cap at? That's what I would have said. Where y'all mega hats at? That's how I would have hit the roast. She wanted for like a weekend. She wouldn't marry him though. She with the yoga dude. Can't trust no 304. That's what I would call them. Yep. I just that would have made him funny, but I said you can't trust no 304. That's what I would have called. I got no woo. Mine would have got no woo. I said, what you wooing about? So she knew what she was doing when she married him. Now good and well he was going, look too good to be true. So I heard what he said, but I heard what he said. But Brady full of it, he think he ain't gonna get roasted. He tripping. Yeah, because you be flopping. That's why he fall over like a penguin. If I was on stage doing LeBron, I just drop some penguins out of like Free Willy out of the water. That's all I do because you flopping all over, splashing. You're fired. You're fired. Be like Oprah gives everybody a car. You get everybody fired. You fired. You fired. Y'all gotta go. Sign with my clutch sports. Tell everybody I'm the greatest. Nigga, where my juice at? His is too easy. No, he wouldn't get. He wouldn't. He wouldn't want that. He would start crying. He sure would. Yeah, well, back in the day when they originally used to do it, not this mess they do now. Cash knew how to be subtle and funny, or sometimes they just be funny. It all depends. You can't go in but so much, though. Be mad at him. Be mad at your coach. Be mad at, there was a couple plays here and there. They just devised the right plan in the Super Bowls. That's all. Tom Coughlin ran that four up the front and hit him. That's all it was. Got physical with him. That's all. He could be mad at Belichick though for that one against Philadelphia though. That defense, that was embarrassing. You know, I don't know. Well, Gronk is trying to get a TV gig. That's what that was. He probably was told by Brady not to go in. That's probably what it was about. You gotta remember something. They gotta do business. So he ain't like Antonio Samuel. Ain't like Samuel was up there. That would have been somebody. Asante Samuel Senior. That would have been the mic drop because he went in on it. But they not gonna put nobody too real up there. You know how they go. They white. They got white sponsors, and they got to keep it white. Can't come up and say nothing that would be too detrimental. Well, if you want to see somebody black roast them, you got maybe Ray Lewis, but or Ed Reed, but they're not gonna put too many people like that up there. Mm-mm. Randy Moss is happy to be on TV, yo. And then White Rose pretty much told him, we can make you even bigger than you were before. So he's playing the game. Needs the bag. That's why you see him like that. Besides, he has best what I call prime peak career in New England. So he's got to be on P's and Q's. Yeah, he would. But see, Strahan is also in the membership club too, so he can do it, but yet he can be cool with him. Remember, Strahan is one of their crossovers, so okay. Oh yeah, they cool, and they cool. Actually, off the field, they cool. They cool. Brady knows it comes with the territory. He ain't tripping. He ain't gonna trip. You know. But it wasn't much to do about nothing. It was just loudmouth and vulgar. And again, it's one of the last. It's almost like a bachelor party till he gets married and goes corporate. Oh, Brady got some lines for you. I still remember when the Steelers, that safety talked trash, and Brady went down and got in his face when he burned him and he hit Moss on that bomb. Brady will talk trash. Brady ain't afraid to pop gums on you. That's why I never bought his old shucks routine because he was cold. He remembered he was cold. Some people think Brady just all shrugged shoulders. Yep. And now 10 people go back and forth to their read. Yeah. I'm gonna get ready to go in just a couple minutes. It's been great being on here. Gotta get me some eat and get myself together. Um, well, yeah, because Ed Reed would study the field because Ed Reed was very deceptive. Because I remember there was that one play where he snuck Peyton Manning and picked him off. Ed could definitely read a field. He could definitely read a field. He could read your cadence and he could run you down. He could make plays. He was a force. He was definitely a force. So I'm definitely big on Ed Reed. Ed Reed was bad. I mean, you can always tell when a guy can study your lenses. It's like he got your peripheral. That's one thing that he could do real well. So I co-sign that. Definitely one of the best I ever saw. Anyway, I'm gonna call it a night. Great, glad you came through, T. A couple others came through. Tom came through. Cole and I. But thanks to you, man. Great questions. And appreciate the suggestions. I got some videos I'm gonna work on tomorrow. What's happening? What's happening? I am only gonna be here for like 3 more minutes because I've been on here for 2+ hours. I mean, I know it's better late than never, but you catching me near close up, last call. This is my last call. Glad you came through, Rizaroni, but I'm getting ready to check out in just a minute. But if you had any questions or anything, I will address it before I roll out. We just been having a one-on-one convo. Me and Ted been through, so. But if you got a question, now forever hold your peace before I conclude. And if you got a question that's memorable, it might make me stay longer, but if not, I'll just come back, God willing, tomorrow. And I'll just say my usual. Okay, well, I'm glad you came through. Thanks for showing up. It's just that, yeah, I'm getting ready to bounce. So I gotta go get my meal on. But peace, the best. Stay safe, stay blessed. Thanks everybody that came through. Um, look forward to seeing you, God willing, in 24 hours. We'll catch you. Peace, the best. I'm out.